Good morning, guys. I love the analogy of computer programming when it comes to rewiring and using our minds for their true great purpose. And I remember hearing the idea from Stephen Covey that you are the programmer. You are the programmer of your mind. This goes back to our first habit of being proactive in Stephen Covey's book, Seven Habits of Highly Effective People. You have to accept the idea that you are the programmer of your mind. That's where it all begins. If you accept that idea and you understand that you are responsible for every decision you make, no matter what, then real change begins. Then the real path begins of our true greatness. And it's possible for you, but you have to believe that, you have to internalize that, you have to have no doubt that you are the programmer. It all begins there. Have a great day, everyone. Good morning, guys.
Rise and shine, it's espresso time.
Good morning, Believe Nation. It's Evan. I am not a morning person, but here's what I know. When you start your day with a powerful routine that inspires you, it will change your life, like watching these videos. And in celebration of my recent one-on-one with Les Brown, get ready for a shot of espresso from our vaults with Les Brown.
I wake up every morning.
Espresso keep me going.
I wake up every morning. It's not easy. It's hard changing your life. It was hard when just over 3 years ago, in the Penobscot building in Detroit, Michigan, where I was operating my business, and I fell on some hard times, and I was sleeping in my office. It was hard coming into the lobby, and the security said, "Excuse me, Mr. Brown, can we see you for a moment?" And I said, "Yes." And I walked up to the counter, and he gave me an envelope. And he said, "Would you mind reading it here?" And I opened the envelope, and the envelope was from management that said, "This is an office tower. It's not a hotel. Please do not sleep in your office." And I said, "Excuse me, sir." I said, "I just work long hours in creating my business. I'm an entrepreneur. And right now things are bad for me, but they're not going to be this way always. And I just asked for the opportunity to continue to operate like I'm doing. I'm not trying to make this my home." And it was hard coming through the lobby. And sometimes they would laugh. There's a guy talking about becoming successful. And look at him. He's bathing in the bathroom upstairs on the 21st floor. He sleeps on the floor. Him and two other dreamers up there. Look at him.
In January this year, I had a mind-blowing experience under a form of plant medicine.
It was hard, ladies and gentlemen, coming to speak to people. And I was facing financial difficulties in my own life. I was behind on my bills and my dreams, and I'm saying to them, you can live your dream. It was hard, ladies and gentlemen. It was very difficult to pick myself up each day believing that I could do it. There were times that I doubted myself. I said, "God, why is this happening to me? I'm just trying to take care of my children and my mother. I'm not trying to steal or rob from anybody. Why did this have to happen to me?" It was very hard. And here's what I want to say to you. For those of you that have experienced some hardships, don't give up on your dream. No one could have convinced me by holding on, by continuing to push forward, by continuing to run toward my dream, that one day I would have my own talk show. It's a long shot, ladies and gentlemen, from Liberty City, an abandoned building on a floor, never knowing my mother or father. It's a long shot. Being here with you today in this dome in Atlanta, it's a long shot. No college training, labeled educable, mentally retarded, but I kept running toward my dream. Don't stop. Don't stop. running toward your dream. It's very important as you hold on to that dream. There are moments when you're going to doubt yourself. There are rough times are going to come, but they have not come to stay. They have come to pass. It's very important for you to know that. Don't say I'm having a bad day. Say I'm having a character building day. It's very important for you to believe that you are the one to make this happen. I remember this high school teacher, Mr. Leroy Washington, at the end of school one June, it was just a few days before we were supposed to leave, and I just got my report card, and it indicated that I'd failed history, and I'd failed English, and I would have to go to summer school. And I was feeling within myself that I was a failure, that I'm slower than most people in getting paperwork, and I was feeling down on myself and very negative. And Mr. Washington was giving a speech to the graduating seniors, and I was in 11th grade. And even though I wasn't supposed to be in there, I went in there because the speech he was giving, that speech was for me. And as he talked, my heart began to beat fast. Tears began to run by my eyes, and I was in the back just listening to him because he said, and he was a very dramatic man. I still talk to him to this day. He said, as graduating seniors of Booker T. Washington High School, I want you to know that you're blessed and highly favored, and that as you go toward the future, begin to know that you have greatness within you. And if just one of you here begin to envision yourselves as being blessed and highly favored to reach your goals, if just one of you capture the essence of what that means, that you have greatness within you and a responsibility to manifest that greatness, that you can make your parents proud, you can make your school proud, you can touch millions of people's lives, and the world will never be the same again because you came this way. And the students gave him a rousing standing ovation. And as he left the auditorium, I ran down the steps and I caught him in the parking lot. I said, Mr. Washington? He said, yes. I said, do you remember me, sir? He said, no. I said, my name is Leslie Brown. My mother, she works in the cafeteria here. I'm one of the twins, Leslie and Wesley. I said, Mr. Washington, but you know, I got these big dreams. You know, I like talking to people. I love people. I said, I want to work with people, and I got this dream of buying my mama a home. Could I do that, Mr. Washington? He said, it's possible, Mr. Brown. And as he walked away, I called him again. I said, Mr. Washington? He said, what do you want now? I said, I'm the one, sir. I said, I'm the one. You remember me, sir. I'm Miss Mamie Brown's boy. I'm the one. I'm the one.
But because I respect you and know I have to earn your trust, I'm going to show you real live proof.
What would the boldest version of you do? Think about your mission. Think about your goals. Think about what you are trying to accomplish. You've got what you're doing now. But think about what the boldest version of you, if you summoned the boldest version of you into existence right now, what would he or she tell you to do? So when I did my tour earlier this year, it was 90 days, 23 cities. And at first I wanted to do it for free. I love doing free coffee shop meetups every time I travel to a new city. And I told my agent, Steve in New York, hey man, this is my idea. He said, you need to charge for the event. You got to play bigger. You gotta do a bolder version of you. And it's freaked me out. It scared me because I don't want to disappoint people. And the idea of charging for something and then me disappointing people and then hitting that fear every 4 days, because I got up in a new city every 3 to 4 days for 90 days, was me being able to conquer my fears. And so Steve pushed me, and I have Steve's voice in my head. It's like, you need to play bigger. You got to do something bolder. What's the next step? And so I'm looking at my next tour coming up in 2020 around my book, Built to Serve. And I'm trying to think, how do I make it even bigger? How do I make it even bolder? Because what I've done has been great. And it's not trying to take away from what I've done. It's amazing. I'm proud of myself. I'm grateful. Awesome. And I know I'm capable of more. And I know I need to do something at the next level, because if I want to go off and accomplish my mission, I need to. Because at the rate I'm going right now, I'm not going to hit 1 billion people. I'm not going to solve the world's biggest problem. I'm not going to have the impact and reach that I know I can have unless I demand more boldness, bigger scale from myself on a daily basis. And so for me, having Steve's voice in my head, having Elon Musk's voice in my head, having Steve Jobs and Ipa Giannini and my parents and Kanye West and Howard Schultz constantly in my head, the content that I make is for myself. It's selfish for myself. And then I share it with you guys, and thankfully you like it, so I can build a business around it and hire a team and keep creating more. What makes you bold? What makes you come alive? And how do you summon that creature on a daily basis? If you wake up and you daily, every day, consistently are bringing the boldest version of you, even for 1 year, if you woke up every day for 1 year and summoned the boldest version of you, your life is going to look dramatically different 1 year from today. So how do you start playing a bigger game and being more bold? I'm going to give you a 3-step process that I think is going to help. Step number 1, what would the boldest version of you do? Just asking that question, just taking 5 minutes, sit down, grab your coffee, eat your breakfast, have no distractions, and just think about it for 5 minutes. What would the boldest version of you today do? What would you do? Look at your day ahead. Look at your plans. Look at what you've got up in your schedule today. If you were bold, if you summoned the boldest version of you today, what would you do differently? And then summon the strength and summon the courage and go do that thing. Step number 2 is think big and act small. Think big, act small. You have to think big because you're an entrepreneur. You've got big dreams, big ambitions. We want to change the world. You got an important mission, a vision that's driving you every day, right? I feel it. I'm connected to it too. I got a big vision that I never want to end. I want to chase it down for the rest of my life. But sometimes the big vision, yes, it is empowering and yes, it is inspiring, but sometimes it seems too big. Sometimes it seems impossible. Sometimes it seems like we're never going to do it without getting venture capital and partnerships and a huge team and all of these things. And then you stack it on top of each other and then you don't do anything because it's too big an idea that you can't do it alone. That's where you need to act small. Think big, big vision, but act small. Like what's the smallest, simplest, easiest thing that you can just do right now? It might be just picking up your phone and making a video. You want to have a YouTube channel? You want to build momentum? Create a video today, right now. And you won't know what you're talking about, and you won't have perfect audio, and you won't have the great lighting, and it will be garbage editing. Great. Because the biggest thing that's missing from you, from your mission actually happening, is momentum. You're a genius. You've got great ideas. That thing that's in here needs to be birthed, but there's no momentum. You're not doing enough on a daily basis to actually create that thing and get it out to the world. So think big, act small. And step number 3 is to understand that your bucket list is your excuse list. People walk around with a bucket list of things that they want to do before they die. The problem is you've given yourself until you die as your timeline.
In a fast-moving world, enterprise and government need high-quality AI solutions.
It's an excuse list. Look at what's on that bucket list. Everything on there is excuses. You've come up with stories as to why you can't do it. I just came back from speaking at Dean Graziosi's and Brendan Burchard's event in Phoenix. And there was a woman who was in front of me and said, hey, I've got dancing on my bucket list. She found out that I had Toronto dance salsa, and now dancing's on my bucket list. Like, don't say that. Your bucket list is your excuse list. And then she was taken aback, but then she looked down and she pulled up her dress a little bit, and you could see she had a broken foot or something wrong with one of her legs. I said, great. She's showing it to me as if, oh, and now I'm supposed to understand your situation. That's why you can't go dancing. She showed it to me, and then I said, okay, can you march? Can you do this? Can you do this? Can you march? She says, yeah, I can march. I can walk. Great. Give me your hands. And I picked her up, and we started doing merengue. And I was doing all these turn patterns and making her move and turning around, and she had her first merengue dance. And then she realized, all I need is somebody to hold on to. I can dance. I just need somebody to hold on to. Don't wait until 5 years later, 10 years later, until you die for that bucket list to happen. Today, your bucket list is your excuse list. Stop telling yourself all the reasons why you can't do something, and if it was important enough to you, you'll chase it down. I'm passionate about this. I'm going to tell you one more story. There was one guy, same event, who says getting to the top of whatever mountain is on his bucket list. But he doesn't have the money to do it, and he doesn't have the time to do it, and all this stuff. And he's doing all these little things instead of chasing down his one big goal. If he hit the top of the mountain, everything else in his life would change, would be different. He'll come back a different person, a different human. All the things that he thinks are so important to him right now will not be important when he comes back. These little projects that are distracting him from doing the big thing that he wants to do will disappear. He'll come back a new human with a whole different path ahead of him. You have to figure out a way to get to the top of that mountain. You have to figure out, look at your bucket list and recognize that's just a list of excuses you've got there. Pick the thing that you actually care about and go chase it down immediately.
Now I've got some special bonus clips that I think you're going to enjoy. But before that, it's time for the question of the day. I want to know, what was your single biggest takeaway from this video and your plan of action for the next week? When you just watch a video and you get motivated, the sign says you have a 35% chance of actually following through. That's not good enough, Believe Nation. We need to take some action. But when you watch a video, you get motivated and you create a specific plan of action, that number jumps from 35% to 91% chance of you following through. And when you publicly commit to other people, like leaving a comment down in this video, your number jumps to 95% chance of you actually following through on the plan you set for yourself. So I want to know your single biggest takeaway from this video and your plan of action for the next week. Leave it down in the comments below so I can celebrate you.
Now, let me share something else with you, ladies and gentlemen. When you know within yourself that there's something you want to do, and I believe that all of us were born with a purpose, that all of us have something that we are supposed to do, that all of us have some goodness within us, and that goodness gives us a responsibility to manifest our greatness. And when you know that, you can feel it in your guts, and you know that you're deliberately operating below your potential. You've gotten comfortable. You stop expanding, you stop stretching, you stop challenging yourself. Let me share something else with you. Not only is it possible for you to have your dream, but it's necessary. It's necessary that you have it, that you work on it, that you develop yourself, that you go for what is yours in the universe. I have a friend that at the beginning of the year I was in Los Angeles giving a speech, and I do a seminar teaching people how to become involved in the speaking business, and also one called Speaking with Power, teaching people how to begin to develop their communication skills. And this friend, I said, I want you to work with me. I called her up. She said, Les, are you sure I can do it? Sure you can. You have a PhD in communications. I don't have that. If I can do it, sure you can do it. In fact, I'm going to give you the support that you need. Here's what I realize, ladies and gentlemen. We only have enough energy to take us to a certain level, but it's necessary that we assemble ourselves with other people who share our vision, other people that can see it for us, to give ourselves a home court advantage. So it's necessary that you seek out other people who think like you, who are growing, who have decided that they are not satisfied with where they are. See, I don't believe that necessity is the mother of invention. No, necessity, in my opinion, is not the mother of invention. Refusing to accept things the way that they are is the mother of invention.
The energy's here. I need you to be ready. Okay. We're going to be working together.
When you decide, I'm not going to settle for this, this is not going to be it for my life, I deserve more than this. See, that will start making you do some stuff. See, a lot of people go to work every day miserable, and all they do is just talk about how miserable they are, but they don't do anything about it. So I was telling her that I knew she hated her job with a passion. I said, you can do this. You got more going for you than I have going for me. And we've been going through this for years, ladies and gentlemen. She'd been to my seminar speaking for a living. She brought her husband, and that was one of the major problems that I realized that happened in her life. He couldn't see it for her. So you got to make sure that you have people in your life that can see it for you, that will encourage you. Non-affirming relationships can hurt you. And I talked to him. I said, you know, I don't have anything to do with your marriage. I said, you and I are good friends, and she and I are good friends. And I'm not taking sides. I said, but if you can't see it for her, don't tell her that. Just give her some support. What if you're wrong? It's possible, man, that if I'm doing it, she can do it. Well, you're different. How are you going to tell me that? You've seen her speak. She's got great speaking skills. Don't underestimate her. You don't know. You've got a great woman here. But you see, people who can't see it for themselves can't see it for you. He was happy. So I said, will you do it with me? I said, I'm going to give you the support you need. You can't do it by yourself. I will stand with you. She said, you will? I said, yes. I'm going to make you a part of my seminar. You'll do a part of it and I'll do a part of it. Speaking with power. She said, okay. 3 days later, ladies and gentlemen, I got an emergency call at my office. It was from her husband. He called and said, tell Les Brown that Marion is dead. I said, oh no. When I was flying there to go to the funeral, and I remember the last time that I saw her, and I had some of her papers that I had gotten inadvertently confused with mine, and I took them home. And I was searching through these papers to do one of her works. She was a prolific writer. And what got me, what was so sad that made me begin to cry, was that there were poems that she had started that were profound poems, great thoughts that she didn't complete. Plays that she had started that she didn't complete. See, that poem was given to her. I can't finish that for her, nor can you. That play, whatever the outcome that she had envisioned, that she had imagined, was given to her. Only her. And she's the channel that was going to come through. You are here, and you are the vessel, you are the outlet for the universe. That you've been selected. There's something for you to do. I believe all of us have some purpose for being here. And as I was going to the funeral, and I was reading a newspaper that said that millions of people are dying because of what they're eating, talking about their diet. And I'm sure that it was Marion talking to me, whispering, saying, Les, the next time you speak, say that even more are dying because of what's eating them.
In January this year, I had a mind-blowing experience under a form of plant medicine.
When the challenge is
ya tú sabes, adivina quiénes somos. Profesor, su zumba. Anda por la disco, suelta el pelo. Baila mucho zumba, sé que tiene fuego. De repente ya se enciende y comienza a moverse muy ardiente y toda la disco se prende. Inocente pensará que no la miran, pero sabe en el fondo que es mentira. Con ese cuerpo de sirena moviendo todo entera, toda la noche bailando sin pena. para arriba, duro, duro, muévelo, duro, duro, muévelo, arriba, para arriba, las manos para arriba, duro, duro, muévelo, duro, duro, muévelo, arriba, para arriba, las manos para arriba, duro, duro, muévelo, duro, duro, fuego, fuego, que tiene fuego, 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 que empieza el fuego, 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 que tiene fuego, 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 que empieza el fuego. Move your body, muévelo. Everybody, muévelo. Muévelo, muévelo. Move it, mami, move, move, move. Muévelo, muévelo. Move it, mami, move, move, move. Recorriendo el mundo entero. Around the world. Zumba. Muévelo, muévelo, muévelo. Muévelo, muévelo, muévelo. Muévelo, muévelo, muévelo. Muévelo, muévelo, muévelo. Zumba.
Feel the power of you controlling your breathing right now. Feel the power of you enjoying your greatest gift right now. That's you. That's your presence. That's your greatest power. Your power to determine to stay in the present, in the now, and be your true great being that you are. No matter what. In this present moment, everything is here you need right now. So let's see ourselves today doing the best we can in the gym of life. Here we are again. Controlling our minds. Controlling our breathing. One great thought at a time. One great breath at a time. So see yourself doing your best on all the exercises we do today together, here and now. That's your determination, your greatest power, power that's the same in you and every human being on the planet. Good morning, determination. How's everyone doing today? What a day again. Great day. Here we are. We may not like exactly all the conditions that are going on right now, but we are here right now, together, working on our minds and working on our bodies. So here we go. When I say go, we're going to start doing our best jog on the spot, or you can go back and forth if you want to just walk. Remember to keep in mind the safety of the space you are working with. Always keep that in mind. Here we go. When I say go, we're going to do our best jog ever. But you got to see it in your mind first. That's where everything begins, in your mind. But to be your true great self, you also sometimes have to get out of your mind just to be you. Just to be. Here we go. Jogging on the spot. feel the control of you. Breathing in through your nose, and out through your mouth. You always have that power to determine, to take control of your breathing, your mind, and your body. That's what keeps us here and now, in the present. The greatest gift we all have always. Almost there. Keep going. Determination. Keep going. All right. And let's walk it out. Back and forth. Or just walk on the spot, if that's all the space you have. All right, everyone, let's start off with our shoulder rolls. Here we go. 10 shoulder rolls forward. The power of all of us right now, watching this, working together on one thing. No matter what's going on, we can stay in the present, right here, right now. And backwards. Let's do arm circles forward. Here we go, arm circles forward. 10 forward, and then we'll go 10 backwards. Then feel the power of you enjoying moving your body, being free to move through space. And backwards. Okay, here we go. Now let's do hands on our hips, bend your knees, and side stretch. All right, and let's twist our body now. So 5 on each side. Keep your feet flat on the floor. All right, excellent. Okay, let's do 5 push-ups together. Our best 5 push-ups. Here we go. If you gotta keep these down on the ground, that's fine. Let's do the best we can. All right, let's do 5 sit-ups. All right, and standing up. And let's do 5 squats. Our best 5 squats ever. Excellent. Let's do lunges, 3 on each side. Arms up. Excellent. All right. And 10-second plank. Bring these knees off the ground. Hold it there for 10. Good work, everyone, and stand up and reach for the sky or the ceiling on your toes, depending on where you are. Feel the joy of reaching. If you lose your balance, get back up again. Never give up, no matter what. All right, let's reach for our toes, straight knees. Again, feel the joy of the process of you reaching. Trying to go a little bit further than last time without hurting yourself. You know the truth about you and how much you can do. Right here, right now. Okay, and come on up again. Let's balance. Grab one leg. Find that balance. Again, if you have to imagine yourself with roots underneath your feet that are growing through the ground fully, deep into the earth, do that. If that helps you. And switch. Notice the power of all of us right now. Controlling our minds, to control our bodies, to control our breathing, and to control control our balance. All right, and now let's hug our knee. Here we go. Bend the other one if you have to. Find that balance point and pull the knee up. Hug your knee, give it a good hug. And switch the other one. Feel the joy of you finding your balance in this moment right now. It's the same way you can do it in anything in life. Alright, okay, and let's sit down and reach for our toes, straight knees. There we go. And feel the gift of you. Trying to be your best. The best you. Not your best compared to others, just your best you. Alright, V shape with our legs, and let's reach for the floor as far away from our body as we can. Again, enjoy the process, enjoy the reaching. You'll never get to an end. There is no end. You're infinite. Reach for one to the other side. Knees straight. We gotta learn to love the process of everything we're doing. That's what will always keep us mind healthy, and more importantly, mind wealthy. And switch. Mind wealthy meaning that we choose courage, we choose determination over fear, over giving up. Okay, and let's bring our feet together and gently push our knees down with our elbows. Hold it there for 10 seconds. Always remember your breathing. And one leg forward, one leg back. Go as far back as you can. Keep that knee down. Just feel the power, the joy of this moment right now. This is how we win. One moment at a time. And switch. Always win if we control our minds. We don't let our minds control us. It's not the way it's supposed to be. We are infinitely intelligent. We control our minds. Alright, and let's roll onto our bellies. Push the floor and look up at the ceiling. Or the sky, wherever you are. Ready? Here we go. Okay, and legs crossed again, back straight, eyes closed. Breathing in through our nose, out through our mouth. Feeling the joy in every breath. Now, let's see in our mind today the vision we want to create for our best exercises. For me today, I'm going to see myself doing my best on each of the 2 songs I choose on one exercise each. So I'm going to see in my mind myself holding the lunge position for each leg as long as possible, hopefully for the duration of the first song. And then for the second song, I'm going to see myself holding a V sit-up position as long as I can. You don't have to choose those exercises. You may if you want. But you can see in your mind right now, whatever exercise you love doing, as long as you're doing it safely. You can dance, you can jump, you can do jumping jacks, lunges, squats, whatever your heart desires right now. As long as you stay safe. You know how to stay safe. You're made of rules, truth, principles that are designed to keep you safe, happy, successful, and free and peaceful all the time. It's a matter of want. You gotta want to be safe, healthy, and happy. You gotta want it so bad as you want it. right, everybody, here I go. My best to hold the lunge position on each leg. What about you? What are you going to do? Whatever you do, remember, your happiness is dependent on you doing your best on whatever it is you're doing. So here we go. Sometimes I'll keep my arms out like this too. Sometimes I'll put them out this way. Sometimes I'll bring them up. Slowly bring them back down. Just enjoying the pleasure of my body. This is pure happiness for me. Working on my mind and body all at once. And I want it for you. I want you to know that the way you do this, the way you control your mind to do this, the way you can do anything. Remember, our body has limits that we have yet to discover, but our mind has some limits. More importantly, you control your mind, which makes you infinitely intelligent. Happiness is it. Thank you. Hallelujah. Thank you. Thank you, infinite intelligence. So that space between what you choose to do when that pain, discomfort sets in, what you choose to do, that's the the leg now. Shake off that burn. Wherever you are, you are fully enjoying the moment right now. Your happiness is always up to you. Focus on that. You clap along if you're happy. Hope you're enjoying your exercise right now, wherever you are. My legs are shaking. I'm uncomfortable. I get to choose what's next. I'm proud of my effort. Proud of my determination. Hope you are too, wherever you are. We still got more. Yeah, keep going. Here we go. Let's go. Determination. Let's go. Keep going wherever you are until the song's over. Or if you got your own song on, keep going, keep going. Love your process right now. Next one for me is holding my feet sit-up position. Even if I let go, I'm gonna get back up. So the full duration of the song. Whatever you're doing, enjoy it fully. Follow your heart and soul. Here we go. Nobody can break your stride. Keep going. You can get back up. Keep going and getting better all the time. Even if your body slows you down. Remember those limits. We're always discovering hope. Sometimes I'll change my arm position just to keep my butt. just constantly pushing a little bit more. Go again. Still going. We got music in us. Bring out our music over here. Keep pushing. Keep striving. Keep going to find and be your true great self. Focus on your power and determination. No matter what. You're destined to bring yourself over. Proud of the effort. Hope you are too. Here we go. We end. Well, quote unquote, we never really end. We now focus on our breathing. Back straight, eyes closed, legs crossed. Breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. Feel that power that you're using to control your breathing. Your connection to oneness, to what we all really are, to the truth. The ultimate truth. That you were born to win control over your mind. That when we all do that, we find out the truth of who we all really are. Infinitely intelligent beings, powerful beyond measure. The power of all knowing right here, right now, this moment. You're already made of all knowing of the universe. You're made of that same stuff. With that, you can always have and be your true, peaceful, happy, kind, loving self. No matter what.
The Best Life 30, your 30-day journey to creating the best life possible for yourself. You can just watch this video, or if you want to, sign up for the entire series for free and get the bonus companion worksheets that go with this video. Check the link in the description below. All right, today is day 4 and we're going to figure out how to find your purpose.
I think you should chase what energizes you. Everyone talks about passion, legacy, purpose, blah, 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 blah. The one word to pay attention to is energy.
I love that.
That's it. Let's simplify this.
Okay.
So whatever energizes you, naturally expands you, feels like possibility, is exciting to do. It may be scary, that doesn't matter. It has to do with how it makes you feel.
Right.
When you were in your 20s, money made you feel good. It expanded you, it energized you. Chasing the money, that was the game. That was your passion, that was your There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. And I particularly want to say that to the women that are watching.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Because it is socialized into women not to chase success like that, not to go after the money. And so if what energizes you is amassing wealth, go for it. But what and the reason why I say that is because people talk about the word passion or purpose.
Right.
And the truth is, it's not a person, place, or a thing. It's not. It is the feeling of being expanded and energized.
Right.
If you're pursuing your passion, it means that you wake up every day and are energized. So instead of trying to think, what's my purpose? What's my passion? What's my purpose? What's my passion? I don't know.
Yeah.
Instead of thinking like that, I want you instead to ask yourself, what could I do today that would energize me? What energizes me? If it's making money, figure out how to make money.
Right.
If it is making a difference, figure out how to make a difference. It could be in any single shape or form. But if it energizes you, that's what you need to follow. And what happens is that passion also, because it's energy, it dissipates over time. Because when you first start making money, it's thrilling.
Yeah.
Thrilling. There is nothing more exhilarating than making your first million.
Yeah.
Nothing more exhilarating. But what happens is once you learn how to do something once, you can do it over and over again. And so it starts to become routine, which means it's no longer energizing.
Right.
Which is why every entrepreneur out there goes through the mode of chasing the money, and then you hit the money that you need to make, and then you're like, I'm not fulfilled. What's my purpose? I don't know what to do.
Yeah, I went through that.
I need to find the way, I did the, everybody does.
Yeah.
And it's because you were energized by the money, and now you're not.
Yeah.
Now you got to be energized by the next thing.
I'm wondering what would be the single most valuable piece of advice you'd give us to even attempt to create some of the value that you guys have done in both your very impressive companies.
People say you have to have a lot of passion for what you're doing, and it's totally true. And the reason is because it's so hard that if you don't, any rational person would give up. It's really hard, and you have to do it over a sustained period of time. So if you don't love it, if you're not having fun doing it and you don't really love it, you're going to give up. And that's what happens to most people, actually. If you really look at the ones that ended up being successful, unquote, in the eyes of society and the ones that didn't, oftentimes it's the ones that are successful loved what they did so they could persevere when it got really tough. And the ones that didn't love it quit because they're sane, right? Who would want to put up with this stuff if you don't love it? So it's a lot of hard work, and it's a lot of worrying constantly. And if you don't love it, you're going to fail. So you got to love it. You got to have passion.
Ever since I was 5 years old, that's when Neil Armstrong stepped onto the surface of the moon. I've been kind of passionate about space, rockets, rocket engines, space travel. I became a science fiction reader, and I've always known that I wanted to do something having to do with space, and I've spent a lot of time thinking about it for really almost my whole life. And that's one of the things you guys will find, that you have passions, and having a passion is a gift. I think we all have passions, and you don't get to choose them. They pick you, but you have to be alert to them. You have to be looking for them. And when you find your passion, it's a fantastic gift for you because it gives you direction, it gives you purpose. You can have a job, or you can have a career, or you can have a calling. And the best thing is to have a calling. And if you find your passion, you'll have that, and all your work won't feel like work to you.
Passion is not an actionable word. It's correct, that those who do the things that they're passionate about do better, but it's not helpful advice. And so the question is, where does passion come from? Passion is a result. Passion is an energy. Passion is the feeling you have when you're engaged in something that you love. Passion is the feeling you have that you would probably do this for free, and you can't believe somebody pays you to do it, And I think we mistake that passion is something we do in our private lives, but it shouldn't be done, in our careers, for example. And I'm a firm believer that you are who you are. And anybody who says, I'm different at home than I am at work, in one of those two places, you're lying. And the goal is to make everything you do in home and at work something that you have excitement to do. So how do you find the things that you're excited to do? Well, it's actually easier than you think. What are the things that you love to do? What are the things that you would do for free? How can you recreate that feeling and be paid for it? So what are the things that I do on the weekend, right? I love, I'm very involved in the art world. I love to go to museums and galleries, but I love to go see dance and performances because I want to see how others are interpreting the world. So that inspires me. New ideas, new thoughts, new ways of looking at the world are things that interest me privately, and I seek it out and pay money for it, right? So does that mean I have to have a career in the arts? No, it means I have to have a career where new ideas are explored, where people are experimenting and trying things out, and I have to explore new ideas and try things out, and I'm just as excited to go to work every day as I am to, you know, go do something on a Saturday night. And so the idea of finding your passion is ironically simple because you should be doing stuff that you enjoy sometimes. What is the stuff that you enjoy, and then what is the stuff that you love? Who are the people that you love, and what do they all have in common?
When I was small, I was also really undersized. So it's probably one of the reasons I lift weights. I was always, every baseball picture, I'm the kid holding the sign in the front, right? So I was small and skinny. They used to tease me, Eddie Spaghetti, you know, and I'd get bullied at school, and I never retaliated. So I had that mixed with shyness, mixed with chaos in my home, which many people can relate to. And I got to tell you that the shift for me, sports was good for me because it gave me an out that I finally found something that I was pretty good at. I think the biggest shift in our lives, the things that makes us the happiest, is that when somebody helps us identify our natural giftedness. And when I was a little boy, when I got a little bit older, they pointed out my speed. So it wasn't my lack of size, I was fast. I was the fast kid, right? I always wanted to be fast kid, and I got confidence in baseball doing that. When I got into business, they said, you know, you're intense. When someone points out a gift about you that you also kind of intuitively know to be true, they're linked to them. You're intense, you're passionate, you won't get outworked, you're relentless. I went, I am those things. And when someone linked those gifts to me winning, now I believed I could win. That's the other way to change identity, is when someone can link your giftedness to the victory, you'll believe it. Not like you're great, that's general, that's bullshit. Right. But it's something you know specific, like for you right now, you wouldn't brag about them. There's a few things you know what, I am good at these things, right? I've always been good at these things. It's natural for me. And when someone links that to you winning, like for you, for example, you're an unbelievable interviewer. You have this general, you don't need to be the smartest person in the room because you probably are most of the time. And so there's a confidence that allows you to be present when you interview me and just listen that's different than anyone who's interviewed me before. And so that's a natural giftedness for you, which is why there's a part of you that kind of knows, I am pretty, you wouldn't say it, but I am pretty good at this. This is a good program. And so the way we change your identity, the way I changed mine was by getting in touch with what some of my natural gifts were and then using them in my career, using them in my life. That shifted the weight right off of me. Because the weight was, I suck, I'm shy, I'm small, I have a screwed up family. That's the weight, right? The lifting off of the weight is, these are some gifts God gave me, or the universe gave me, or that at least I know I have. And I can spend my life using these gifts. Now I've got hope. Now my identity's changing. Now my life takes a different direction.
Here's how you develop a passion. It starts as a minor area of interest. You gain areas of interest by encountering a lot of stuff. So if you haven't encountered a lot of things in your life, go out there and encounter stuff. Go sailing, go take a dance class, go study neuroscience, like whatever it is, just encounter a whole bunch of very broad, diverse things. From that, you're going to get sparks of interest. Like, oh, I actually found that interesting. I want to learn more. Dive deep through engagement, not through pondering, through engagement. You're going to realize whether something is going to turn into an area of fascination. So as you go deeper into it, you're going to either become fascinated or you're not. If you're not fascinated, move on. If you are fascinated, then that's an area where you're going to ask yourself one very simple question. Do I want to become the best in the world at that thing? If you do, if you want to become truly extraordinary in that thing, then go down the path of gaining mastery. Now, the reason I think that it's wise to ask that question going in is when you frame it of, I'm going to become the best in the world at this, immediately people understand the amount of time, energy, and weight that it would take to become truly great at that thing. And I don't think that passion can happen unless you're becoming truly great at that thing. That's part of passion. I don't think people are deeply passionate about something that they really suck at. And I'll give you an example. I love video games. I absolutely love playing first-person shooters. I learn a lot from them. I get a lot out of them. I really just intrinsically enjoy the time. It has both that sense of eating a cake because it's just fun in the moment, and I pull from it life lessons, business lessons. I practice getting out of the sympathetic nervous system into the parasympathetic nervous system. It's literally gamified, so I'm getting better. I have points. I can, have my improvement turned into metrics. It's all of it I really, really enjoy. But I won't say that I'm deeply passionate about it because I'm just not that good at it. So that's one of those things, if I really wanted to develop a deep passion for video games and put it at the center of my life, that then I would set down that path of really practicing. Now, this is the most important thing that passion will do for you, which is it's going to pull you through boredom. It's going to pull you through the hard times. And that's why it's really got to be something that you just are prepared to become great at. Because when you're prepared to become great, there's just these insane moments of boredom, repetition, and all of that. And if you have this burgeoning passion coming out of that, that's what's going to give you the energy to get through it. So it's this symbiotic relationship between a developing passion and how hard it is to actually really get great at something. So the things you get great at need to be something that is this developing passion. So there you have it. That's how you do it, and that's why you do it.
You write in the book, there is no faith and no courage and no sacrifice in doing what is expedient. What do you say to those viewers that don't pursue their dreams and are locked in their careers because they are too afraid to take risks and pursue something meaningful?
Well, the first thing I would say is, well, you should be afraid of taking risks and pursuing something meaningful. But you should be more afraid of staying where you are if it's making you miserable. It's like the first thing you want to do is dispense with the idea that you get to have any permanent security outside of your ability to contend and adapt. It's the same issue with children. It's like you're paying a price by sitting there being miserable. And you might say, well, the devil I know is better than the one I don't. It's like, don't be so sure of that. The clock is ticking.
Yeah,
and if you're miserable in your job now and you change nothing, in 5 years, you'll be much more miserable and you'll be a lot older.
But isn't it a luxury to pursue what is meaningful? Our viewers have mortgages, they have children, they have payments and loans. It's a luxury to pursue because we lack the resources.
Well, I don't remember now, I'm not talking about what makes you happy. It's a luxury to pursue what makes you happy. It's a moral obligation to pursue what you find meaningful. And that doesn't mean it's easy. It might require sacrifice. If you need to change your job too, let's say you have a family and children and a mortgage, you have responsibilities. You've already picked up those responsibilities. You don't just get to walk away scot-free and say, well, I don't like my job, I quit. That's no strategy. But what you might have to do is you think, well, this job is killing my soul. All right, so what do I have to do about that? Well, I have to look for another job. Well, no one wants to hire me. It's like, okay, maybe you need to educate yourself more. Maybe you need to update your curriculum vitae, your resume. Maybe you need to overcome your fear of being interviewed. Maybe you need to sharpen your social skills. Like, you have to think about these things strategically. If you're going to switch careers, you have to do it like an intelligent, responsible person. That might take you a couple of years of effort to do properly. I've dealt with hundreds of people in my clinical and consulting practice, and we set a goal, we develop a vision, and work towards it, and things inevitably get better for people. So it's not a luxury, it's difficult. It's a moral responsibility, and it isn't happiness. It's not, the pursuit isn't for happiness.
It's a moral responsibility to pursue what is meaningful.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I just can't explain to everybody like clearer, when you figure out who you are and do all that, you win. If you're great at painting, paint and hire a partner to be your salesperson. If somebody at 20 years old made me their business partner as a painter, they'd be the most famous painter in the world. Yet, most painters wanna be the salesman and businessmen and women as well as the painter, and there's a problem. 85% of painting, 90% of people that are great at painting are artists and don't have the DNA to sell, and vice versa. All my sales friends and business friends that wanna start all these businesses around something creative, I have bad news for you, Joel. You know, you can be a great salesman, but your pottery sucks. And so that's that. So like, and that's a very funny analogy for the following. Figure out who you are, don't apologize for who you are, and then become even greater than you naturally are at what you are. Well, that's the whole game's broken because everybody's too tied up into other people's opinions. I only care about my opinion of myself. And I care what my mom and wife and kids and the world think, just not as much as I care about the way I think about myself. And that's it, just that slight advantage. And I think most of you care more about what other people think than what you think about yourself, and or you actually don't feel good about yourself, right? The thing that made me smile, when you just introduced me, you said, I'm one of the most motivational people in the world, comma, and everybody I know that's met him said he's the nicest guy. There's no comparison to the better feeling of people that have actually gotten to know me say that versus millions, hundreds of thousands, tens of thousands thinking I'm the coolest. And that's it. I mean, that's it. And that's why it's easy for me to feel good about myself, right? And so I think a lot of people need to start with themselves. Maybe the reason they don't have more confidence in themselves or care about their opinion about themselves versus others is because they know they're doing things they don't like. So they need to work on that. I get offered and emailed 5,000 different requests for podcasts and shows, and what I think my friend here, let's see his name, Evan, Bo, let's see, Evan Carmichael introduced me to Bo. What Bo has figured out is time is the asset, and so if you want Kevin Hart or The Rock or Beyonce or Ja Rule or Richard Branson or Tony Hsieh or Sheryl Sandberg on your podcast, maybe you should start the 120-second podcast. And then you gotta be creative and try to figure out how you get, maybe you create the one question video show. That's it, the whole show's one question. Promise you, a lot of people that you want as guests, if they see in the headline, I just need 4 minutes of your time for the one question show, a lot more are gonna say yes than, can you be on my podcast for an hour and a half?
A brain tattoo I love sharing with my audiences is this one. A job is only just a job if you see it as a job. And so, why would you lose the opportunity to leverage what you do every day to grow your happiness, to grow your energy, to allow you to release more of your talents into the world, to allow you to help more people? Why would you miss that opportunity by falling into the trap of thinking, this is just my job. I'm just getting up in the morning, working 9 to 5, going down to the coal mine every day. And you could say, well, Robin, this doesn't apply to me. You know, I just have a ordinary job. Well, I've got to tell you, I've met taxi drivers who feel their work is incredibly meaningful. I mean, I was at LaGuardia and I remember, you know, being in a taxi cab and the man had this white shirt and his cab was perfection. And I said, you know, your attitude is great. Your passion is awesome. Your cab is perfect. You've got this fresh newspaper for me to read. What is your psychology that allows you to do this? And he said, Robin, this is not a dirty job. It's an important job. I get to make a difference. I remember being in Johannesburg, meeting the janitor in the Johannesburg men's room, or WC, who worked like he was the Elon Musk of what he did. He worked like Pavarotti sang. And so my point is simply this, it's really your choice as to how you will view the work you do every day. And even in the most quote unquote ordinary of work, you can find gold. And if you connect with the gold, you connect with the meaning. And if you connect with the meaning, you connect with your talents. And if you connect with your talents, you connect with the best within you. And if you connect with the best within you, you go to work every day and you are this shining star of world class and you become the Picasso of your industry and everything else takes care of itself.
Once you know your purpose, your direction is clear. There will be no confusion. It's wild, but there were times in my life I didn't know where I wanted to go. I didn't know what I wanted to do. But you know why? Because I didn't know my purpose. I had no idea what I was supposed to do. I remember retiring from the NFL, and I was like, you know, I'm too good to go out there and get any job. But my purpose was to take care of my family. But I was sitting up on the couch, you know what? It's all gonna be good. It's not a problem. I'm telling you, it's shameful. It was shameful. And I remember us running out of money, and I have to dig in the couches and try to find money for milk for my kids. And I was missing my purpose. I was in confusion. And one day my wife came to me, she said, honey, you need a job. I'm like, you know what? I can't just go out there and do any job. You know, I was in the NFL, you know that. And she said, well, you know what? I don't care that you're in the NFL. We need some milk. We need to eat. We need gas. What are you going to do? And my first job, I remember I was humbled so low. My first job in LA, I went to a place called Labor Ready. And I showed up at 5 in the morning, and there were ex-cons, there were drug addicts, there were all kind of people there, and they would give you a job for the day for 8 hours. And I remember making $8 an hour for 8 hours, and they would send me all over. They would say, you got a car? I was like, yeah, I got one. Well, you're gonna go over here and you're gonna work in this factory. And I remember grabbing that broom, picking it up, and I started sweeping. And I remember feeling lower than low. I was like, man, and again, here comes the pity party. I was in the NFL. I knew I was running around with big stars. I was doing it, making money, doing all this stuff. And here I am sweeping the floor. And it was horrible, and I felt miserable. But then all of a sudden, something happened. As I was sweeping, I started to realize that I was doing something about my situation. That instead of sitting around talking about it, instead of sitting around, wondering where my opportunity was coming from, I was proactive. And let me tell you something, I was fulfilling my purpose. I got the money for my family. And I realized that I am not going to just sit ever again. And that was the turning point in my life in a major, major way. Once I found out what my purpose was, you'll do anything in your purpose, and you'll still stay there, and you'll be 100% on the right path.
Once you